All right, guys. So the Democrats just can't let a good racial crisis, right? I'm saying crisis in quotation marks, go to waste. As we've seen some ridiculous takes about the fake news of Border Patrol agents whipping Haitians at the border, right? They're not whipping Haitians at the border. They're literally grabbing their reins and they spin their reins to make sure that Haitians don't get too close to the horse so that the horse does not hurt the Haitians, okay? Otherwise, other than that, they're doing their jobs, right? But the mainstream liberal media, they can't let some images and video that looks bad to stupid people who are city slickers who've never ridden a horse, don't know anything about horses. They can't let that imagery go to waste, right? Especially when it is a white man or people that appear to be white, lighter skinned people appearing to whip black people, Haitians, right? And again, we've seen some ridiculous takes on this, but Maxine Waters, Mad Maxine, has to take it up a notch, right? In terms of ridiculous takes, as she comes out here and gives a ridiculous take for the books, as she says that what is going on at the border is worse than slavery. Take a listen.
I'm pissed. I'm unhappy, and I'm not just unhappy with the cowboys who were running down Haitians and using their reins to whip them. I'm happy with the administration. We are following the Trump policy. He is the one that does not follow the Constitution and would not allow those seeking refuge to be able to petition to get into the country. What the hell are we doing here? What we witnessed takes us back hundreds of years. What we witnessed was worse than what we witnessed in slavery. Cowboys with their reins again whipping black people, Haitians, into the water where they're scrambling and falling down when all they're trying to do is escape from violence in their country. And we're saying to the president and everybody else, you got to stop this madness. And I want to know, in the first place, who's paying these cowboys to do this work? They've got to be gotten rid of. They've gotten to be stopped. It cannot go on. And so I thank all of you for being here today. Write the story. Tell the story about what is going on. And let people know that they're trying to take us back to slavery days and worse than that. And the children who are unfortunate to be in this situation must be allowed into the United States immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but immediately. Yeah.
Oh, I need the
Oh my God, she's crazy. She's a lunatic. She's insane. She is absolutely insane. Guys, she's an elected official, right? Can you believe it? She's one of the most powerful women in Congress, right? She just spit falsehood after falsehood after falsehood. Ridiculousness after ridiculousness after ridiculousness. I don't even know where to begin. First of all, let's start with the whole slavery thing, okay? She said what we're witnessing was worse than what we witnessed during slavery. Well, first of all, Maxine, you old as hell, right? I know you old, but I don't think even you were around to witness slavery. Nobody alive was around to witness slavery, right? So what are you talking about? Okay, but I know what you mean. You're trying to say it's worse than slavery, but it's not, right? But it's not, okay? Slavery, the same slavery where people were actually being whipped, okay, and chained. That's not what's happening at the border. They're not being whipped. They're not being chained. Okay, they're not being held against their will. They have the freedom to go anywhere they want in South America, in Central America. They just can't come to the United States, right? Because we have borders, okay? I know you don't want any borders. I know you're not for that, but we have laws and borders, Maxine, okay? Do you understand? We have laws and borders. So, guys, I mean, it's crazy to me how these Democrats, they will stoop so low for political gain. It's ridiculous, right? It's so ridiculous. I mean, you're saying it's worse than slavery. In what world do you live in? Do you think what is happening at the border is worse than slavery? And it's funny to me because every time you look, these people want to talk about how bad slavery was. Slavery was the worst thing ever. And talking about the ancestors this, the ancestors that. But every time I look, they always trying to disrespect the ancestors. You're always trying to disrespect the people that actually went through slavery by trying to compare our great lives today to slavery, right? They just haven't just compared the border crisis, what's going on right now with slavery, which is ridiculous enough. They've also tried to compare the plight of black people in America in, the 21st century to slavery. They've done that too. So you continue to throw dirt and spit on the graves of people that you claim you got respect for purely for political points. Purely for political points. For partisan hackery. And if you really feel like the border crisis is worse than slavery, then why haven't you spoke out about this until now? Why does it take Haitians being mistreated at the border for you to actually feel some type of way about the border crisis? Because we've been talking about what's going on at the border for the longest time. And she said nothing. Where was this energy at 5 or 6 months ago, Maxine? Oh, but you didn't care because those people weren't black, right? They were Mexican. They were brown folks, right? But you don't really care about those people. So that's not really a big deal. Those people, those kids in cages, those kids wrapped in aluminum foil, you ain't really care about that. But you cared about them under Trump, right? So you only care about them if the evil white supremacist white man Trump is in office, or if it's somebody black. Okay, Maxine revealing her racism. Okay, otherwise she don't really care, because when it's somebody like Biden in office, if it's brown people down at the border being mistreated, I don't really care. No need to make a fuss about that. But see, this time she actually came out to Biden. Okay, she said that this administration needs to fix this, right? And it's funny because look, Kamala Harris is in charge of this, right? Kamala and Biden are the ones in charge. And, why is she not calling out Kamala? Because she's the border czar. Kamala's the person you should be calling out. And that's what makes the slavery comparison even more ridiculous and funny, in my opinion. Because let's actually act like Maxine comparison is somewhat accurate, which is not. Then who's the slave master, Maxine? Who's the slave master? Kamala, right? Kamala's the slave master. Which again would make sense, considering that allegedly Kamala Harris's family, she's a descendant on her father's side of slave owners, right? And there's been news that came out that Biden is a descendant of slave owners. So who knows? Maybe they're just following their family footsteps. According to Maxine, if you go with her narrative that this is worse than slavery, because they're the ones that's in charge of the border crisis. So I just find it interesting how she comes out here and she attacks the Biden administration, but she doesn't want to call Kamala Harris out by name, who's a black woman that's in charge of this. So I just find it hilarious. And then she talks about who's paying these cowboys, right? Calling the Border Patrol agents cowboys. They're not cowboys. They're federal law enforcement. And the federal government is paying these people, right? You are a part of Congress. You are a part of the, I think, the Budget and Finance Committee. So you're a part of how these people are funded. So what do you talk about who pays them? If you don't know who's paying them, why are you in Congress? And this is what I'm talking about, guys. She's an elected official. A part of the same people who allocate the amount of money that goes to our Border Patrol, and she doesn't have a clue who's paying them? But she's in charge of it. I don't understand what's going on. It's so ridiculous. This rant might be one for the books. It might be. It's just so many falsehoods, so much ridiculousness. I can't take it. I can't take it. And she talks about how the Haitians, well, they're just trying to escape their country. Bad things happen to them, right? And I'm like, you're not even educated about that. They're not even from Haiti. They're not directly from Haiti. They may have left Haiti after 2010, after that earthquake. They went to countries like Brazil and Chile. Some of them went to Mexico, and they chilled out in South America and Central America until they saw opportunity to actually come here, right? And the opportunity they saw was under the Biden administration. Because the Biden administration, at least in rhetoric, when he got in office, before he got in office, was soft, right? He was telling immigrants to come. And that's why they came. That's why they're here, because of Biden and Kamala. So she is literally wrong on every single point in this unhinged rant, right? This unhinged rant, she's just wrong. She just has none of her facts straight at all. Again, it's bad enough that you say it's worse than slavery. Not just a comparison. It's worse than slavery. And then you follow it up with just nothing but falsehoods, right? Just false on everything, wrong on everything. You don't know what's going on. You have no clue. You're just talking. You're just ranting because you're trying to play the race card. You're trying to play up the racial narrative. So you march out there and start race pimping like you always do, saying reckless stuff. Guys, I mean, yeah, this one might be a rant for the books from Maxine Waters, man. But, you know, couldn't expect anything less from her. It is, at the very least, very entertaining and sad at the same time. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.